Whare te iwi and welcome to the Chew. Coming at you from the marae here at Rapaki in Ōtautahi Christchurch, called Arrowtown Dad tēnei. And today we are chewing the fat with my good friend Ārama. Tēnā koe, bro.
Tēnā koe, bro.
Right, so what I'll get you to do is just introduce yourself however way you want, and then I'll just ask some questions about your life.
Ka whai. Tēnā koe, tēnā koutou. I te puake ahau I te tāwharau I ngā kōtu whakarakaraka o tamatea pōkai whenua, me ngā tātaha o Waikirikiri awa, ko Gardner tōku whānau, ko Ārama tōku ingoa, no Ōtautahi ahau, tēnā koutou katoa.
Oh, e mihi ana ki a koe te tōkana, pai tō pepeha. So, what we'll start off with is, tell us where you were born and where you grew up and went to school.
Pai, I whānau mai au I Ōtepoti, so I was born in Ōtepoti. I was actually born in Ōtepoti Dunedin the year of the longitudinal health study. That is still ongoing down in Dunedin there. It's one of the world's leading international health studies, longitudinal, and I was part of the cohort of pepi, of
You're
babies
kidding.
in that. Engari, I was 2 months old when my mum and my dad were living down there. My dad was studying, my mum was working down there, and only when I was 2 months old they made the hikoi back to or the haerenga back to Ōtautahi Christchurch.
Right.
So I slipped through the cracks of the longitudinal study. So I'm in the cohort, but I'm not actually part of the study.
You weren't one of the ones that was part of the research study.
No.
Oh, so close.
So close.
That's actually a really well-known study worldwide, isn't it?
It's one of, I think, the longest and, one of the leading studies. Yeah.
How many people were in that?
That I don't know, but I've got a feeling it's not, I'm not sure if it's for pepi for the whole year, or whether it's only for a portion of the year or not, but I know that I was within the time frame.
Right.
Yeah. Kari anō.
Yeah. Oh, so you were, you're born and raised in Dunedin?
Pretty much born only in Dunedin, then moved back here when I was just a pepi, a baby. I live on the road still now that I grew up on.
Oh, that's right.
We live kind of a little bit rural, a little bit out of the city, just very fortunate to have just a really cool upbringing kind of out in the countryside.
Which part?
So the area is called Prebleton or Broadfield.
Prebleton.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And that's close to Templeton, is it?
Close to Templeton, Lincoln. Broadfield, another little area. I went to it's only my brother and I in the whānau, siblings-wise, and we went to a little school. At one stage at the school, it was a full primary school, only about 20 students in the whole school.
Oh,
so
wow.
Close to the city, but
only 20.
Super rural. Only 20 for 8 years of school years. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty trippy. How far away was the nearest school from you?
That school was about probably about a 7-minute drive.
To another school?
To another school, yeah.
See, that's weird, because the times you hear of places that only have like 20 kids enrolled, it's usually because it's the only one within miles of anything.
It was quite unique actually. So probably within the vicinity of maybe, say, 5 kilometres, there's probably about 7 schools.
Right.
But our one was just this tiny little school.
Wow.
So my dad was actually, 2 of our cousins went there as well. My dad was on the board. This is way back in the day.
Yeah.
And he and the board fought to keep the school open.
Wow.
This is way back, yeah.
Good, that's good. Because it would have been easy to close with such a small, small membership.
Yeah.
That's in Prebleton, and you stayed there right until high school?
Yeah, stayed there through high school, went to the local high school, Lincoln High. My parents also went there. My grandfather on my dad's side was the principal at the at the primary school next door.
Oh, really?
Our kids have now gone through that school, so it's
Really?
not all about that school. It's just that's the local school. So
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
Has it still got a small group of children going there, or is it much bigger now?
At the primary school where I was at, it's now zoned, so it's now got about 150 students, so it's grown quite a lot, and the high school's quite big, so the high school's probably about 1,400 students now, so it's sizable. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so you would consider yourself to be a Christchurch boy?
Yeah. My parents, I think, well, I know actually still feel like they have some of their ngākau, some of their heart is back down in Ōtepoti.
Really?
And we have quite strong ties back to Central Otago with some of our whānau. So, but we, I would consider myself from Ōtautahi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And so you were at Lincoln, and you stayed right to the end of your high schooling at Lincoln. What did you do after that?
So my brother and I played tennis as juniors, as young people. Yeah. And we didn't have a huge amount of money as a family growing up, but we didn't want really, we weren't in need as such, but it was a pretty modest upbringing. So, but our parents, two things I really, I'm very grateful for our parents as well as other things. And one is they believed in us for us to follow our dreams, whatever our dreams would be. So my brother's a rock and roller.
Oh, really?
And I've spent my life, or a lot of my life, traveling the world in my work as well. So, and they're perhaps not particularly conventional mahi. So, and the other thing was they did everything they could and kind of scraped up some money and saved up heaps to provide some sort of opportunity for us to at least start in the pathway. So my brother was a much better tennis player than I was, but we both had the opportunity to get a few lessons as we were young people. And then we started the journey as tennis coaches ourselves and at our tennis club here in Ōtautahi. And at the end of my schooling, our tennis coach offered me the opportunity to travel to Germany and to assist him as a tennis coach over there.
Did you say this was during your high school? You were
at the end of my high school years.
Wow.
Yeah. So finished high school, and then it was pretty much straight after that.
Yeah.
And I did that for a summer, came back, and so I had 7 summers in a row, because for three European summers in a row, I went back to Germany and I was a tennis pro over there. So
wow. So you actually played
I played a little bit. Played a little bit, not to a high standard, but I mostly worked in the coaching space and the working with coaches to develop their skills.
Yeah, right.
And then I ended up working in the area where I was working with the people who are working to develop the coaches. So so that.
Wow. So you got into coaching quite at a very, very young age.
I did.
Yeah.
And so from about 19 years old, and I probably stopped traveling and coaching or coach developing probably 30 years later.
Wow. Yeah. And so you spent a bit of time in Germany. Did you spend time anywhere else?
So came back to, after 3 years in Germany, decided that I needed to settle back here for a little bit. I felt the pull back to Ōtautahi and Aotearoa. I mean, it's such an honour to be able to live in this incredible country, and ko Ngāti Pākehā tōku iwi, engari nōku te honore ki au te noho i Aotearoa. So it's a huge honour for me to be able to live here. So so I felt the pull back here, and I met through a blind date my hoa rangatira, my wife. So we went on a blind date, introduced through mutual friends, and 30 years later we're still together.
Oh, can't play.
So we did the big OE in 2000, and then I won a scholarship to work and study in the US. So we lived over there for a little bit. This is all through my tennis. And through that opportunity, we moved to China for a 1-year contract where my wife was teaching at the Shanghai American School, and I was coaching tennis at this new development called Shanghai Racket Club, and we left 12 years later.
You spent 12 years in Shanghai?
I spent 12 years there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We also lived in England for a little bit as well.
Jeez, you can't be that old. Gee, come on.
Well, I looks deceiving. I'm not so sure for me. So I'm in my 50s now.
Yeah, okay. Nah. He kōrero whakatoi no hoa. Nah,
Kia te pai.
So, now, just going to touch a little bit on your time in Shanghai, because I lived over in China for a little bit. I only went to Shanghai for a holiday, but boy, what a beautiful place that was. I actually really enjoyed Shanghai. So, what was the experience like for you living? Obviously, it was pretty good because you stayed there for quite a while. But tell us a bit about your time in Shanghai. Yeah,
so when we went there for a foreigner, it was still really almost known as a hardship posting, or
really?
it was
so hard.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't hard at all, but still I guess kind of developing in a lot of ways, and so. There weren't as many. I remember when we first went there, the Consulate General of Aotearoa of New Zealand, based over there, would host monthly drinks for New Zealanders living in Shanghai, and they would host them in their whare.
Really?
So there was about maybe 40, maybe a bit little more, maybe 80 New Zealanders living in Shanghai at the time.
Wow. I mean, who were connected to this group?
Yeah, who were connected to the group, and there might have been a few others who weren't necessarily connected there, but weren't many others perhaps. And so 12 years later, I think there was something like 2,500 New Zealanders. So
I'd believe that. It ended up being a pretty popular place, I think, in the end. Once people realised it wasn't all, cracking rocks and sort of and being held under the thumb. Well, not for expats, right? The expat life, in my experience, is pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic, and it was great. It was really great. Some of the perhaps the fondest, closest memories were when we were able to travel a little bit, connect with people who were living locally, rurally. Connecting with people like that. It was cool to connect with expats and people in the international community as well, and meeting people from all over the world.
Yeah.
However, to connect with people who who are from China and are living their life there, and to make some friendships, very special.
Yeah, it is.
Very special. Yeah.
Really, really special place. And culturally, there are differences, but culturally there are also a lot of similarities as well. Well, I noticed my time over there. After that 12 years, did you come back to New Zealand?
We did. So massive change actually through those 12 years in Shanghai and many other places in China, just through the growth and the development. We moved back here. We actually wanted to move back here at the end of 2011. That was our marker. So we moved over to Shanghai with a backpack each, and we came home with 3 tamariki and a household full of goods. So our marker was always the end of 2011, and we talk about it constantly. And so we wanted to really try and make it. It was never going to be the perfect time, but we knew we weren't going to live there forever.
Yeah,
so just trying to find the right time for our tamariki, for ourselves.
Yes.
We felt the calling from home, from our whānau as well. So it was really important for us to get back. And then the earthquakes in Ōtautahi happened in 2010 September.
That's right.
And then again February 2011. So we delayed our return until the end of 2012.
Okay.
We had a lot of friends kind of almost like, well, why are you going back home to a city which has been,
in ruins.
It's in ruins, and it's our home.
And to be fair, out of those ruins come new opportunities, and a different city. It's a chance to rebuild, turn into something, better. Perhaps.
And to connect back with the whenua, to connect back with our whānau again. We're only seeing them once, sometimes maybe twice a year. And we didn't want to live in fear, basically. We wanted to, and we realised that there is still people grieving, and there's been tremendous loss and loss of lives and loss of loss of work and loss of places.
Yeah.
However, we wanted to somehow, in our own way, maybe contribute towards the rebuild and the recovery.
Right. And so now I'm going to shift tack a little bit. So for anyone out there listening, watching, not sure if you're aware of this, but I'm on my own personal journey of learning Te Reo Māori, and I've come quite far in my personal journey. So I've come to what is a level that's similar to a degree level. So we're in a level 7 of learning Te Reo Māori. And so Ārama, Adam here, is one of my hoa tauira. He's another friend, another student friend within our class, and we're both on the same in the same class together here in Christchurch for level 7. It's called Pīnakitanga, ki te reo kairangi. And so now shifting tack to the whole Māori language journey, what made you decide to learn Te Reo Māori as a Pākehā? That's sort of, that's it can be a difficult decision to make for some people.
Well, pātai pai tēnā, so really good question there. I don't think I have mastered the articulation of the whakautu, the answer to that question. Engari, I'll give it a try. So, as I mentioned earlier, ko Ngāti Pākehā tōku iwi. My ancestors are from other parts of the world. For me, I want to, and I mean this honestly, and I mean this genuinely, I want to be a good contributor to this beautiful place and to the people, tangata whenua of this incredible place. And for me, a tangible way to do that was through the reo, through learning Te Reo Māori. It was a way perhaps that I could, one way that I could connect with the tikanga, or matoranga Māori, or te ao Māori. And my whakaaro, my thought initially was just, well, look, I'll do 1 year, I'll try and learn a couple of karakia and maybe a couple of waiata and perhaps my mihi mihi or my pepeha. So that was about pretty much the extent of my...
That's a good place to start, because it can only get better from there. So, wow, the first... I actually find it... I find it quite difficult to talk about without getting emotional, because it takes me to a different place. Love it.
Se kia ora. So I perhaps didn't appreciate that i te ao Māori, i roto i matoranga Māori, it's so much is interwoven. So if I'm learning the language, then I'm also earning so much about...
You learn the world of Māori as well, don't you? That's a really good point. That's a really good point to make. So for those out there who have given it a go or who have no idea how it works, I'm not sure if this is unique to the Māori language, but it's almost impossible to learn our language without also learning other parts of the Māori world. It's the two come so inextricably intertwined that you can't have one without the other. So I get what you're saying here is like through the language journey, you learn all this other stuff. So much about the matoranga, the knowledge base, the ways, the tikanga, the processes, the protocols, how to behave appropriately in various places, and I'm tripping up all the time. Even I'm still learning about that. It's a constant journey.
It sure is. I find it incredibly humbling, but in a really good way. It helps me keep grounded. It helps me. I'm trying to practice intentionally knowing my place.
That's difficult.
It can be really difficult.
It's harder for non-Māori people to work out what that looks like, because you probably get conflicting sort of recommendations on what that looks like, because I'm sure different Māori people will give you completely conflicting information about how that works. Because I get it, and I'm Māori.
Well, I find I want to also acknowledge you know, I study, as you've mentioned, at Te Wānanga Aotearoa. I've been very grateful. I'm very honoured. I'm very honoured to be ki rungi te waki Te Reo Māori, so I'm the waka of learning Te Reo Māori. And whilst the wero is very big, the challenge is very big, but it's a beautiful challenge. My waters aren't choppy. And I know that there are many people who have not had the opportunity to speak Te Reo Māori, or have had the opportunity taken away.
Yeah, that's right.
And for one reason or another cannot or choose not to get on the journey. And I don't carry that trauma, and I don't carry that wanga and that any of that challenge. So I acknowledge that.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to know that you understand that it's there and it does affect other people. You know, just the fact that you're aware of it is already tells me that you're part of the solution, not the problem.
Oh, tēnā koe hoa.
There's some people, even though they have good intentions, they can be quite ignorant of situations, and although they go in there with the right intentions, they sort of say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. So yeah, you're right. You know, understanding where your place is it's a difficult thing to do, but it's important to get it right. I guess, you know, wouldn't it be incredible if we walked down the street and you know, if we greet someone who's a stranger walking the other way? Imagine if we get to a day where Te Reo Māori is spoken, you know. So absolutely,
And I you know, I don't proclaim for a moment to be an expert in the knowledge of, you know, of mātauranga Māori or you know, anything around that realm. However, some of the components within that, the concept that the person is connected to the land, and there's a mutuality there. That, to me, that makes so much sense. You know, and that helps me understand. I'm super passionate about te aki ki te whenua, so looking after, you know, doing our role in caretaking for the land, you know, for now, for our tamariki more mokopuna, a te wahiki, more for the future. And to understand that concept that that a person and the land are connected, i mātauranga Māori, Tau Māori, and the way of that helps me understand the importance of taking care of this incredible country and this world that we live in.
Kia ora, tēnā pō. So, just going to touch on a few other things, little differences here. So, a different tact again, you know, because we can get like, you know, hohunu rawa atu mo enei tu mo kōrero e. But engari, so here's an easy question, I suppose. So just for people out there who are listening or watching, the pathway that most of us have taken on this journey to get where we are at the moment, the first year is a level 1 and a level 2. And so they're wrapped up into the first year of study. The second year of study is level 3 and level 4. So there's 2 levels wrapped up into the second year. The third year is level 5 all by itself. The fourth year is level 6 all by itself. So this is the 5th year of constant study, full year-long study that we're currently in right now. So my question for you, Ārama, did you do every year one after the other, or did you get a break in between?
No, I did every year one after the other.
Wow.
Yep.
So this is 5 years, almost at the end of 5 years for you. Wow.
My wife this year is studying level 3 and 4 that you mentioned. So he pikarere, it's the name of the class of the year, and so that's taumata toru me te whā, so level 3 and 4. And for 5 years, my whānau and my hapori, my community, have wrapped around a huge amount of support for me to be on this journey. So now it's time for me to whakahoki to hoatu te aroha ki aia. So to send the love and the āwhina ki aia. So the love and the support back to her.
Yeah, and that's
and
important.
My whānau.
That's important. You know, although we're on this journey as an individual, we sometimes forget, I sometimes forget, that there's other people in our lives that matter and they need to be thought about too. Because it's a big commitment to do 5 years of full-time study.
Yeah, and I feel it's a commitment for the whānau and the hapori, for the community as well. So it's everyone's committed to this. So it's they're almost like they're on the waka behind me or perhaps in front of me.
All right. So now I'm going to really change things up a bit. Okay, so for everyone listening out there, we're now going to switch this interview into Te Reo Māori only. Okay, so if you're not able to understand what we're saying, then it's fine to tune out at this stage. But if you want to have a bit of a peek into the level that we challenge ourselves at, we're going to change that now. So ko rite koe hoa?
Ai, ko rite.
Nō reira, ka uri tēnei reo ki te reo motuhake, ko te reo rangatira. Nō reira, e mihi atu nei ki a koe i tēnei wā.
Kia ora.
Taku pātai ki a koe i nāi he uaua tēnei huarahi ako, ai, kei te tika tērā, ne? He aha ētahi o ngā mea uaua ki a koe i wainganui i tō huarahi ako.
Me ngā heke.
Piki me ngā heke.
Piki me ngā heke.
Okay, ko ngā heke te tuatahi.
Te heke tuatahi, o ki au, te heke.
Ki au koe.
Ai, ki au. Te kaupapa tuatahi me te wete reo.
Wete reo,
ai. So taku wete reo I te reo engare, I te reo Pākehā, e tino kino. So I te reo Māori, heo rite.
E ua ake te wete reo Pākehā, te wete reo Māori rānei.
Tera pia nai nei, he pai ake te reo Māori.
Ka pai. So te wete reo, he aha ngā whea ko kino I ngā tau kua timata koe I tō huarahi. He kino etahi a whea ko kau o kau rānei?
I te timata o te haerenga.
Ai.
O te āwangawanga mō te kōrero. Mō te kōrero, tētahi kupu. Nā te mea, te āwangawanga mō te whakahe o te reo. Te whaka, te kino te honori o te kaore te honori ki te reo, ki te mātauranga. E nāia nei, o tera pia te nuinga o te haerenga, so ko Ngāti Pākehā tōku iwi, hoi te mātauranga mō te hitori, mō ngā pūrākau, ko au he pēpi.
He pēpi,
mō te akoranga o te kaupapa tēnā. So, ki te pai, haere tonu te akoranga, engari he tino maha ngā kaupapa, and ki au he pepe au.
Yeah, koina te kōrero. Kei te whakai au ki tō whakaro, no te mea, aha koa I tipu ake au, I raro I te koro ai aroha o te ao Māori, kaore au I te mōhio, o kaore au I mōhio ki te reo. Engari, ko te reo anake te mea kua ngaro I au. Hoi anō, kei te mōhio au, kei te maumahara au ki ngā wheako o ngā mea Māori no ku tamariki ana. Nō reira, I tēnei wā, I te wā ka ako au I te reo Māori, etahi wā ka hokinga mahara aku, ka hokinga aku mahara ki era momo wā hei ako tonu, hei whakako tonu ki au. Yeah, engari, kaore o whea ko pēnei, no reira he uaua ake ki a koe, no te mea kaore koe I te mōhio ki ngā pūrākau, pērā I ngā pūrākau Māui, e maha ngā pūrākau mana, and engari, ki au, mōhio au ki ngā pūrākau katoa o Māui, o Hatupatu, o era momo atua, ko tāni mahutama era momo atua hoki. Nō reira, he mea uaua ki a koe, I taua wā kaore koe I te mōhio ki ngā mea ki ngā mātauranga Māori. Nō reira rā, he aha tētahi atu ārai, tētahi atu ārai, I mua I a koe I te wā ka ako reo Māori koe. Etahi atu ārai?
I te timata, o I nānei?
Wainganui,
okay.
O e timata, Wainganui, I tēnei wā kei a koe.
Ai, well, tuatahi, maha ngā mahana, ngā āwhina, ngā tautoko, ki roto I te karahi, mō ngā hoa tauira, mō ngā kaiako, ngā kaiawhina, te hapori, I Te Wānanga o Aotearoa, mō ngā hapori kōrero I Te Reo Māori. He maha ngā piki me ngā heke o te haerenga. I nāia nei ka whai o e whai ana au ngā kupu tonu, ngā kupu hou ki roto I te kete, te tahaki au. And so tipu ake aku ko kōrero mō ngā kupu hou, mō ngā kupu hohonu tera pia, I roto I tētahi kōrero, I tētahi uiui. Tu e te reo he wero tonu ki au. I te timata o tēnei tau, I whakamaumahara au, okay, te wetureo I tērā tau, okay, maumahara. I tēnei tau, okay, so he nui, he wetureo hou I tēnei tau, wetureo hou. Okay, te pai.
Rere ke e tahi o ngā whakatakotoranga, ne? Ki au hoki, yeah.
Engari, tino pai te haerenga, ia tau, ia taumata, he hohonu ake, te mātou, o te mātura, te akoranga, o te mātauranga o te ao Māori, te hituri o te reo, te wero, te heke o te reo, te āhei o te wāheke o te reo, mō ngā mokopune i tēnei wā, te hononga i te whenua. Ko te whakawhitai au mō te āhei i tēnei wā, te akoranga i nāianei.
Ana. Pai o whakaaro. No reira, he mea pai I tēnei wā. He aha ngā piki? Kua ki mai kē koe I ētahi o ngā piki, ētahi o ngā mea kai ngākau ki a koe. Engari, he aha ētahi atu mea I runga I te piki, I te piki o tō huarahi ako.
I te timatu o te haerenga, taku o tōku māramatanga I te tikanga I te ao Māori o I te kaupapa Māori, tikanga Māori, he kore. Kore tōku māramatanga, tāku māramatanga, tōku māramatanga. I te ki runga I te haerenga, ka taia ako au. Ētahi māramatanga o ngā tikanga, I nāianei, ki roto I te kamupini o tāku mahi, ētahi kaupapa atu, anō, kei te mōhio I nāianei, koe te tikanga tēnā, whakahea ana, mahanga whakahea ana au, engari, haere tonu mō tōku māramatanga, te hononga me te kaupapa o te rā.
Ka pai. No reira, pai tō whakawhiti kōrero. You know, kei te mohi o koe ki te whakawhiti kōrero, and he tino hua tērā. He hua whakaputa ana I te mahi whakapaukaha. I tēnei tau, o ngā tau kua pāhure ake, no reira mihi ana ki a koe I tērā mahi, I tō whakapaukaha. No reira, I a koe hikoi ana ki te pito o te taone o tautahi, ka kōrero koe I roto I te reo Māori ki ētahi atu tangata? Ke te kitea ngā tangata koe?
Ētahi.
Ka pai.
Ia wā, ia rā, ka kōrero au. Kia ora, ke te pē koe, ke te hea tētahi kawhai ke te pai. Karawhiua mō te kura. Ahakoa he iti, te reo, he pounamu.
He pounamu. Pounamu te whakaputa.
Kei a koutou, everyone out there listening, give it a go. Karawhiua.
Yeah, karawhiua atu.
Ahakoa he ētahi kupu. Tēnā koe, kia ora koutou, ngā mihi nui, te timata o te haerenga, and he tino hohonu te haerenga.
Ka pai. E maha ngā whakatauki e hangai ana I tērā momo kōrero ai. Kei te mohi o koe ki tētahi?
Ai.
He aha.
Ki au.
Pera I te paitū paihinga?
Te whakatauki te hononga ki au.
Ka wai.
Karea te mohi o te whakatauki tino. Engari, te kaupapa o te kia kua whakamua haere whakamuri o tērā pia.
Ka haere ka haere whakamuri I tō aro whakamua?
Yeah. So, walk into the future. But it means there's a number of different ways it can mean. But walking backwards into the future. Or walking into the future, remembering your past.
Remembering the past,
remembering the past to walk into the future. So, yeah, ki au, hononga ki au ki te whakatauki tēnā.
Oh, ka pai. Nō reira rā, tata tāua ki te mutunga o tēnei uiui. Nō reire e te rangatira e mihi ana ki a koe I te haramai ki konei kia toha ai I o whakaaro, I o whiako, I roto, ko te mea nui I runga I tō haerenga ako reo Māori. Engari, pai te rongo I o whiako ki tā wahi I te wai e noho nei, e noho ana koe I reira, I te whenua take o haina. Nō reira, he kupu tau hei whakakapi I tēnei kōrero?
Ai, he whakatauki anō.
Ka pai.
Nōku te raurau, nau te raurau ka ora ai te iwi. So with your basket and my basket, the people will thrive, or the people will stay strong, will be together. Ai, mihi ana ki e koe e te parata, mō awhina ki au, ki te hapori o te karaihe, ai I tēnei tau, mō tōu mahi te spreading the word I te reo Māori, to sharing the word, mihi ana ki a koe, ai nōku te whiwhi, I tēnei wā, mō te uiui tēnā.
Nōku te whiwhi hoki, ai.
Kia ora.
Nōku hoki te whiwhi.
Ko te tūmana ko e hauora ana ki a koe, ki tō whānau. I tēnei tau a te wāheke mō tōu haerenga tonu, ai, mihi ana ki a koe.
Tēnā koe hika. E mihi atu nei ki a koe. Nōku ke whiwhi. I te kōrero tāu I a tāua. Nō reira, ka huri anō ki te reo prawa, o ki te reo rua, ara ko te reo ingarangi. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions for Ārama, for Adam, pop them down in the chat box below. Remember to like this video, better do it now, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time on The Chew. Mā te wā!
Tēnā koutou.